What's up, y'all? I am back again with another video, and I know your girl been MIA, but I was out celebrating my birthday. Virgo season. I know it's for the Libras right now, but let's get into the Virgos, okay? So I went to DC for the first time. It was lit, but it's not Houston lit. Y'all pumped it up. Y'all pumped it up, but check it out. Lit. So I decided to make this video because, like the title say, do I prefer to be a hairstylist or a wig maker? So a lot of people ask me, do I miss being a hairstylist? And I'm going to answer your questions. Yes and no. It's some pros and cons with it. So first and foremost, I loved being behind the chair. I loved making women beautiful. I loved the transformations. But I was getting to a point where I was tired. I was tired of standing on my feet for all those hours. I was working 60 plus hours a week, and I was starting to feel unappreciated. I was getting a lot of new clients, so they were still like, wasn't really trusting me like they should have, because again, there are a lot of hairstylists out here that are scamming people and doing people wrong. But I'm just like, I'm trying to plead my case. Like, I'm not one of those people, but trying to build their trust was a little tough. It was a headache. So I was getting to a point where I just wasn't happy. I wasn't loving doing hair anymore, and it was starting to show in my work. I can notice like my work wasn't is good, and I can look at stylists' work and tell like what happened. Like, you could tell their work isn't good. They're not happy with what they're doing, or they're tired. It could show all in the work, and I didn't want to do that to clients. So yeah, I chose wig making. So I'm gonna tell you the pros of wig making versus being a hairstylist. So first, working from home. Of course, you can work from home being a hairstylist, but working from home by yourself, not being on nobody else's time but your own. I'm a night owl, so I love working at night. As soon as the sun goes down, my eyes just get up, like I'll be up. So working at night is just the best thing ever. So I can work from like 9 p.m. to like 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning and be on my own time, sleep in during the day. You ain't gotta wake up when you can wake up whenever you please. So that is the pro of being a wig maker versus a hairstylist. Of course, another thing, not dealing with clients on a day-to-day basis. The only time I converse with my clients and customers is if we're doing a consultation, which is 20-30 minutes, or I have questions about the hair color or the style, or if they have questions about how to install a wig or anything like that. But on a day-to-day basis, I go days without having to converse with any clients. And just sitting up and talking to clients all day and them telling you their problems and stuff, draining you when you got your own stuff going on. That's another pro of being a wig maker. Another thing, my business is an online business. So another thing that I love is the fact that I can service clients all across the world, not just the United States. You can reach people in different countries just based on Instagram, and they can go on your website and you can ship to them, versus being a hairstylist. Yeah, you could travel to different states and different countries, but you have to build your following up to get people to get to that point to where you can travel to different states and different countries and do what you do. Or you can have people fly to you wherever you at. But with wig making, since I have an online business, I made wigs. I ship all across the United States. Like, I haven't got out the country yet. I haven't reached nobody out the country, but that's a pro. Like, just being able to see my work in different states is just amazing. Like, I love it. With wig making as a hairstylist, you want to be creative. That's what keeps you motivated, keep you going, is being creative. And when you keep doing the same thing over and over and over, it becomes repetitive and tiring and draining and boring. When you are a creative person, you can't be bored, like, or you just would just not be into it. Like, and that was another thing too of why I decided like to stop doing hair. I was getting bored. I was tired of doing the same thing, just sew-ins and silk press, sew-ins and silk press. I might get a ponytail from here and there, but none of my clients want to try color or anything like that. So with wigs, people are willing to try different colors, different hairstyles, because they're not messing up their natural hair, their natural texture. So they get to play around more with wigs than they could with their natural hair or with weaves. So being able to be creative, and of course there are times where people, like, I would have this 5 wig orders of the same color, just different styles, and I'm just like, come on you guys, let's pick a different color. But with wigs, I can be more creative and get my creative juices going. I can be able to do things that I always wanted to do but never got a chance to do, and I could test my own skills and how good I could get. So that's another thing I like. And the last pro is it's more money. It's more money making wigs than doing hair, I would say. So yeah, those are the pros of being a wig maker versus a hairstylist. So let's get into the cons. So a con of being a wig maker versus a hairstylist is, although it's a good thing that you don't have to deal with clients every day. Sometimes I miss being around my clients. Sometimes I miss like talking to them, laughing, getting the tea on certain things, and being around people. Like, it's hard. Sometimes it's hard me working from home, just being by myself all the time, every day. Sometimes I'll be needing people to talk to. My friends, they got their own things going on. So that's one thing that I do miss about being a hairstylist versus a wig maker. Another thing, like, in the hair industry, it always gets slow in the summer times, but especially for wig makers, I would say, for me personally, I'm not gonna speak for all, but for what I've had to experience is that wigs do not sell as much in the summer. A lot of people don't want wigs, but there are people that need wigs. So those are the people that's gonna buy because of, hair loss, or they just don't like to deal with their natural hair or anything like that. But the people who just wear wigs just for the hell of it, or just for the look, they're not worried about no wig during the summer. So business slowed down tremendously during the summer. I'm used to that when it comes to like silk press and weaves, because a lot of people get into braids, but there are some people that still come and get their hair done. I'm just not working 60 hours. I might be working like 35 or 40 hours a week. But with wigs, I would go a week, sometimes 2 weeks without a sale. Another con is a lot of people are afraid to wear wigs. So my job as a wig maker is not to convince, but to make people feel more comfortable wearing wigs. We've had this stigma for years that wigs are for old ladies, or people get their wigs snatched off, or it was made fun of all the time. Now it's getting cool, but people are still scared. They're scared the wig might fall off, or they're scared that it might look wiggy. So my job as a wig maker is try to make them feel as comfortable as possible to wear a wig. But there are a lot of people out there who wants a wig and they're scared to do it, versus a silk press. Nobody's scared to get a silk press or a sew-in or anything like that. So it's just harder to kind of make people feel comfortable getting a wig. So that's another con. If you are a wig maker, you can have people, ship in the hair that they want to use, but it's more convenient to find a hair vendor. So that was like a tough part of being a wig maker, is making sure I have quality hair for the wigs. And because of the quality of the hair is expensive. So now the wig prices is expensive as well. So finding a good hair vendor is another hard part, but once you find a good vendor, you should be a-okay. Another con is dealing with fraud and stolen packages. Of course, this can happen with being a hairstylist, you can deal with fraud and chargebacks or people running out in the salon without paying, but it happens more dealing with an online business. Fraud has not happened to me yet. I think it's because of the type of clientele or the customers I have. They're not those type of people, but I'm not saying it won't happen to me or it can't happen to me, but you want to make sure you are protected on your website in case somebody do try to do a chargeback. With my website as well, it does like fraud alert, so it can analyze if, you know, there's fraud detected with that person. And you can choose if you want to refund them their money or continue with the order. And of course, stolen packages. So that has happened to me twice. Two of my customers, their package was stolen by one person was stolen around Christmas time by a random person, came on their porch. We saw it on the ring light and everything, and they stole their package. And it was just heartbreaking because it's like, what do you do? Like you can't do nothing. The post office can't do nothing. So now I make sure that I put insurance on the packages. You have a choice to opt out of that if you don't want to pay a little extra for insurance, but most people pay the extra fee for insurance to cover their packages, but still your package might get stolen. It's a whole process to get your money from the post office until you able to get your money and order again. So that's another scary thing. I just pray over all my packages that they get to the customer in a safely manner and nothing happen. And then I pray over my business too, to make sure I don't get any fraudulent people. Another con, going back to trusting, since it's so many fraudulent, you know, hairstylists or people selling things on the internet, there's a lot of people who are skeptical about buying it, especially the price of my wigs. So I try to be personable and let people like try to feel my energy, my vibe, that I'm not that type of person. So really trying to convince people that I'm not a fraudulent person and try to build their trust over the internet is another like tough situation. Of course, that can happen with hair, but it's even tougher when you're dealing with somebody that you've never met. Most of my customers I've never met. We've talked on the phone probably or through text. If we did a consultation and they were able to talk to me on FaceTime. But imagine spending $700, $1,000 with somebody that you've never met, that live in a whole nother state, and you're trusting them that they're going to send you your product and don't fraud you. So I get it, but a lot of people make it a little tough for me, and I'm just like, I'm not gonna steal your money or anything like that. So me trying to convince these people that I'm not a fraud and build their trust, that's like a tough, kind of annoying thing. And I hate that this nowadays people do so much fraud that they just messed up the whole like vibe of selling on the internet. So that's another thing that it's a con. The last one is like if a customer dislikes the wig or the wig doesn't fit right, the measurements were wrong, something like that. Just dealing with that over the phone or over the internet, that can be a little of a headache. Of course, if you're actually doing somebody's hair, a sew-in or a silk press, or some braids, and they don't like it, they could tell you that right away. You can have them come back to the salon, you can fix it. But with the wig, sometimes if the measurement is messed up, it might require me to take down the whole wig and redo it. Or if they don't like the color, I would have to remove all the color, start over. A couple of times I had to take a whole wig apart and do it all over. So that could be like a little bit of a headache. Or, you think that you fixed it, you send it back to them, they still don't like it, they have to ship it back to you. So that becomes a headache. So that's another con. But that's something that don't happen as often. You just want to make sure that you get clear communication. Make sure that you and your customer is on the right page when it comes to their style, their color. If you cannot do it, make sure you let them know, I can't do this, but I can do that, and just come up with a happy medium to try to prevent that. But of course, when it comes to anything, whether it's lashes, nails, hair, there are some customers that just hard to please, and you just got to let them know, you know what, this is not going to work between our relationship, and it's best that you find a new person to do it. But overall, I definitely choose wig making over being a hairstylist. I do miss sometimes being in the salon, of course, but overall, the stress level is way easier. Of course, it gets hard when business is slow, but still the stress level for me, and that's more important. My peace of mind is way important than anything else. So definitely wig making is my go-to, especially when I see the money coming in. So hopefully this helped. Of course, like I always say, everybody's situation is different. My situation, it could be way different from yours, so choose what's best for you. But if you are looking to be a wig maker and step away from behind the chair, hopefully these tips can help. Until next time, you guys, like, comment, and subscribe. I'll see you guys next time.